If you plan to play the Unova Tour at the end of the month, you need to be doing all these things we're about to cover in this video so you can be fully prepped and maximize on this event. These are things the top players are doing. Don't go anywhere. Let's talk about it. Number 1, start prepping your Pokeballs. You cannot play the Unova Tour event if you do not prep Pokeballs, and let me tell you how to do it the best way. For large scale events like the Go Tour, you want to make sure you have a lot of Pokeballs, Great Balls, and Ultra Balls. Now, red balls, Pokeballs, are very useful if you have an item like a Pokemon Go Plus Plus, because this is the only ball that it can automatically throw at Pokemon when you're having a lunch break or whatever, and you want to be catching Pokemon. It can also throw Great Balls and Ultra Balls, but that's more of a manual function of the device. So it's best to stock up a lot of red balls if you're going to be using your auto catcher, and Great Balls and Ultra Balls for any of those harder Pokemon to catch. How do we grind Pokeballs? Number 1, try to get your 7-day Pokestop spin streak. That's going to get you a lot of balls. If you spin a Pokestop every single day, on the 7th day, you'll get a lot of balls. How many times did I just say balls? Also, opening your gifts. You can open 20 gifts every single day, 50 if you have the Egg Petition ticket. Make sure your item bag isn't full as well when you're opening gifts, because there is an option that sometimes you will get Stardust instead of items if your item bag is full. Also, if you don't want any 7-kilometer eggs, make sure your egg storage is full as well before opening your gifts. Next up, spinning Pokestops. Now, obviously you can just go out there, manually click on Pokestops and spin, but the best way to grind Pokeballs is actually to use an auto catching device. Something like a Pokemon Go Plus Plus can auto spin Pokestops in the background while you're out and about. So throughout the month of February, as you're walking around, if you end up ordering one of these devices and connecting them to your game, it'll automatically spin Pokestops and start stocking up those Pokeballs so you're ready for the Unova Tour. I'll link below a video on auto catchers if you want to learn more about those devices and which ones you should get. If you happen to own Scarlet and Violet, by the way, and you send a postcard from Pokemon Go to that game, every 5 days you'll get a Golden Lure module. You can collect a larger amount of Pokeballs when spinning Golden Lure modules. So if you get a Golden Lure and a bunch of your friends do, you all drop them at a certain area. It's called the Golden Lure Module Party, and you can spin all those Pokestops and grind a lot of Pokeballs really quickly, and there's even a higher chance of getting Great Balls and Ultra Balls when spinning Golden Lures. Highly recommend you set some Golden Lure Module parties in your local community before the tour so everyone can be prepped on balls. Okay, enough talking about balls. Let's talk about Pokecoins. You want to make sure you have Pokecoins going into this event, and even if you're a free-to-play player, there's different ways you can get them. Number 1, by defending gyms, you can get a max of 50 coins every single day. You'll earn 1 Pokecoin for every 10 minutes a Pokemon is in the gym. So after 8 hours and 20 minutes, if that Pokemon gets knocked out, you will get your 50 coins for the day. You can place up to 20 Pokemon in gyms at a time. I highly recommend you put as many Pokemon into as many gyms as you can. There's even a strategy where you can talk to your local community and drop into a gym, and then you tell them, hey, kick me out in 8 hours and 20 minutes. They will kick you out, drop in for them, and then you will kick them out. And it's more of like a coordinated strategy with someone from another team to make sure you guys are both getting your coins. If you start collecting your daily coins today, being February 1st, by the end, February 28th, you will have 1,400 Pokecoins to purchase premium raid passes, egg incubators, incenses, whatever you want to buy for the Unova Tour. 1,400 coins for free. Highly recommend you do it. Also, if you do have a job, People are going to make such a big deal about this again. You can set up a little savings as well to make sure you enjoy the event. Say, hey, every single day I'm going to save $1 to spend into Pokemon Go at the end of the month for the Unova Tour. Having a little savings plan allows you to have full control of your money and how much you're spending on different games and different hobbies while still getting the most out of the event by being able to buy raid passes and take advantage of the features you want to take advantage of. If you don't have a job, I recommend you get one because, you know, this economy ain't cheap. Okay, Unova Stones. It is the Unova Tour, so we're going to need Unova Stones to make certain evolutions, and we want to make sure we're prepping them. There are a total of 7 Generation 5 Pokemon that require Unova Stones to evolve. That includes Pansage into Simisage, Pansear into Simisear, Pampor into Simipour, Mana into Musharna, Minccino into Chinchino, Electric into Electros, and Lampert into Chandelure. The best ways to get Sinnoh Stones, or the only ways, are a chance to receive them from your 7-day breakthrough box, or after defeating Team Go Rocket leaders such as Cliff, Sierra, and Arlo. Start collecting your Sinnoh Stones. There will most likely be a way for us to get them during the tour, but it's better to have these prepped for when the event is. Now we talk about Pokecoins, but the reason we want Pokecoins is so we can upgrade our storage, our item bag, or buy premium items. But there's other ways to get premium items in Pokemon Go. Number 1, entering Pokestop showcases. We have 2 showcases every single week, one from Monday to Wednesday and one from Saturday to Sunday. And when you win these showcases or you become top 3, you can get premium items such as egg incubators, super or normal, incenses, lucky eggs, and Pokeballs. Highly recommend you really try your best to win showcases because it's a great opportunity to start prepping these items so when the tour does come, you have them ready. Also, when you attend community ambassador meetups in your local area on Campfire, if you don't know Campfire, I highly recommend you download it, make an account. It'll be linked to your Pokemon Go account, and in that app, there is a map where you can see different meetups. Once you join one of these meetups, there is going to be an 8-hour free timed research you will get, and you're going to have 4 paths you can choose from. The catching path will reward you with an incense and a lure. The raid path will get you a free premium battle pass. The connecting path will get you a super incubator, and the battle path will get you a rocket radar. If there's any raid hours, spotlight hours, you know, Max Monday meetups, communities, attend them, complete the research. That's another way to collect some of these premium items. Also, during the Road to Unova Tour event, the week before the event, there's gonna be a raid hour every single day. So if there's a community ambassador meetup every single day, this is an opportunity to get 5 free raid passes building up to the Unova Tour if you end up not using them. This is a really handy tip for free-to-play players. Join those meetups. Now, one of the bonuses during the Unova Tour is going to be the red stripe and the blue stripes basculin appearing when you're on a route. And these are rare Pokemon you want. So I highly recommend you start creating routes before the event. Start now so you have those routes set in stone once the event starts. In the area which you plan to play the Unova Tour event, this is where you're going to want to go and go ahead and create a route through the route tab. I highly recommend you create routes that are loops as well, so that when you finish a route, you can instantly start another one. Start prepping those routes, especially if you want those basculins during the event. Also, Palkia Candy, one of the most useful candies during tours like this. If you have a Palkia in the origin form with the attack Spatial Rend, it'll give you access to the Spatial Rend Adventure Effect. This Adventure Effect will double your spawn distance, allowing you to see more Pokemon spawns and catch more Pokemon and more shinies. It is literally a game changer for any big event, so I highly recommend, number one, if you don't have a Palkia with Spatial Rend, look for a friend in the area that can just trade you one. It can be just a regular trade, but just make sure you have one so you can use that ability. But then start prepping up candies. Doing a lot of raid focus event and collecting rare candies and then putting them into Palkia is a great opportunity to start grinding candies so that you have ability to use them and use Palkia Spatial Rend during the event. If you want to have Spatial Rend active for the full 8 hours on each day, it's going to cost you 240 candies and 240,000 Stardust. And that's just for one day. So you really want to prep that, especially if you want to be utilizing that and maximizing during the event, because using Spatial Rend is a game changer during events like this. Okay, let's talk about storage. Pokemon storage and item bag storage is something that people really have trouble with going into these events because they have so little. So it's a time to start trimming down your storage as the month comes on up to Unova Tour. Deleting or trading away unwanted or bad IV shiny Pokemon can be a good start. If you happen to own Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu or Pokemon Home, sending those Pokemon to Pokemon Home so you still own them in your Pokemon universe, but you just haven't transferred them away in Pokemon Go is all a good idea. I'm going to link below a video on storage management on how to efficiently manage your storage and item bag storage. So I highly recommend you watch those videos if you haven't, but start increasing the amount of space you have because you're going to be catching a lot of Pokemon during the Unova Tour. In terms of item bag space as well, I will link below a video that covers that. Now, the number one thing that I always tell new players is about Mega Pokemon. And if you don't know, there's 3 levels of Mega Pokemon you can have. And the higher level the Mega, the more candies, XP, and XL candy you will get when catching Pokemon of the same type as that Mega. But getting a max level Mega doesn't come for free. So it is time right now to start leveling up your Mega Pokemon. The best thing I always recommend doing is I have created a Mega tag here, and any Megas that you don't have Mega Evolved, you want to come in once a day, click on them, and you want to go ahead and Mega Evolve them. For example, this Mawile here is only at the base level, so I'm going to come in here, Mega Evolve it once. Now, obviously, it's going to take Mega Energy, and it might not be useful for you if you don't have that much, but it's pretty cheap, and every single day, if you Mega Evolve this, you will slowly work your way towards having the max level Mega where you will get the most amount of bonuses. Start leveling up your Megas. Good Megas to Mega Evolve right now are Mega Rayquaza, which is going to be a very useful Mega during the Unova Tour, getting you a lot of extra candies for Kyurem, Zekrom, stuff like that, Reshurams. But there's any Pokemon during the event that you might think you want to get more candies for, make sure you have a Mega leveled up for that. Okay, let's talk about how you're going to play the event. Pokemon Go is a game that is honestly much better enjoyed with other people, and there's a lot of things that are kind of locked being with other people. So now is your time to start creating relationships in Pokemon Go so you have a group of people to play with. If you already have that, you can avoid this, but connecting on Campfire, the app we talked about before, joining those meetups, making friends with people, and making plans for the event is a really good thing to do right now. Sometimes there's even local groups that will host merch giveaways or code giveaways and different stuff like that during the Unova Tour event, and you want to be part of that, right? So I highly recommend you join those meetups on Campfire and you start messaging people on your friends list, asking them if they want to play, and start creating and fostering those connections so you can have a great time during the Unova Tour. Because again, you can still have fun playing Pokemon Go alone, but it's 10 times funner with other people. Is funner even a word? I don't know, but I used it. Another thing you can go ahead and prep in advance is going to be tagging Pokemon, and specifically tagging Pokemon that will get legacy moves if you evolve them during the event. There's no confirmation for this yet, but based on all the past tours, certain certain Pokemon that are from that generation, when we evolve them during events like this, we will get legacy moves. Most likely during the event, I could see us evolving a Snivy into a Superior to get Frenzy Plant, a Tepig into an Emboar to get Blast Burn, an Oshawott into a Samurott to get Hydro Cannon, a Roggenrola into a Gigalith to get Meteor Beam, a Swaddle into a Leavanny to get Shadow Claw, and an Axew into Haxorus to get Breaking Swipe. Saving any of these Pokemon or even their shadow forms and holding onto them, removing frustration from them during Team Rocket events, to then go ahead and tag them and evolve them during the Unova Tour. This is your time to start looking through those Pokemon in your storage and decide if any of these you want to keep and go ahead and hold on to them for the event. And finally, let's talk about IRL Prep. A game like Pokemon Go, you're going to be outside, you're going to be playing it, and depending on where you live in the northern or southern hemisphere, you want to be ready for those conditions because you can't just play this game from home. Here are the things you're going to want. Number one, spare cables. Even if you do not use lightning cables or whatever, like make sure you have cables ready. Especially it's good to be able to hand those to other players who might not have brought that stuff and help those people out. Check that your power bank is working fine and make sure it's charged. If you're going to be playing this event for 8 hours both days, you're going to need extra battery. Check your cables too, make sure they're working. Also, make sure that your auto catcher is charged and working and you have one. This is a good time to order one if you want to go ahead and use one because you'll get much more out of this event. Now, depending if you're the northern or southern hemisphere, it's also going to change the weather. So let's go through some tips for the different hemispheres. First of all, the northern hemisphere, it is going to be wintertime. It's going to be cold. So a waterproof raincoat, winter jacket, something warm is going to be very, very ideal. Also, some hand warmers. I use electronic hand warmers, which can go ahead and recharge, are very, very good. You can even get some like heated gloves. I've recently bought myself a pair that have wires in them and they will heat so your hands can be warm during the day. An umbrella is also good if you're out there in the UK or anywhere where it's very rainy, very useful. And even an umbrella hat can be something you go ahead and buy. I've used them in the past, they're not bad. And also have a backup plan. If it's snowing, freezing, whatever, have some plans of where you can go. Are you gonna be grinding in the car? Can you go to a mall? What other indoor facilities are there available for you to play Pokemon Go? If it's summer in the southern hemisphere, number one, sunscreen. Don't burn yourself. FPS is very important. You don't want to be leaving the Unova Tour looking like an octillery. Also some sunglasses, a hat, and just some even long sleeves, just stuff to stay away from the sun and stay safe in the sun. Make sure you have those on hand. Water bottle as well, filled with water and electrolyte tablets. This is also good for the northern hemisphere as well. You always want to make sure you're hydrated. And again, have a backup plan. If it's way too hot, I know people in India are always telling me it's like scorching hot during the summer. Have a backup plan of a place you can go inside where there's some nice AC, because whether it's too hot or too cold, sometimes you just can't play outside. Your phone might overheat. So yeah, guys, that is all the tips to follow. Watch the other 2 videos on screen if you enjoyed this video. That is all the tips I have for you guys to start prepping now, but stay tuned for many other tips for the actual event gameplay and everything you need to know about this event. Subscribe and follow me. Peace.